Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends, and market movers. It's Tuesday, July 29th. I'm Nelson John. While tremors rattled the Bay of Bengal and drills geared up in NCR, another kind of urgency is unfolding in Gaza, where Trump is pushing for open food centers to bring relief to starving civilians. Meanwhile, India's fintech footprint expands to 12,000 trillion rupees, and Elon Musk delivers a $16.5 billion lifeline to Samsung's chip ambitions. The dollar is up, crypto is quiet, and the world gears are grinding into motion. This is Top of the Morning. You can't fake starvation. They have to get food and safety right now. That was the US President Donald Trump, visibly shaken as he announced plans to set up food centers across Gaza, open zones where civilians can access aid without fences or restrictions. Speaking from Scotland's Turnberry Golf Resort after meeting UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Trump said, "This is about urgency, not politics. We're going to set up food centers where people can walk in, no boundaries," he told reporters. The US, he said, is increasing both money and material aid. The Gaza crisis, now entering yet another devastating phase, has drawn international condemnation. Prime Minister Starmer called it an absolute catastrophe, urging Washington to push Israel harder to allow humanitarian access. People in Britain are revolted by what they're seeing, he said. Relief agencies say the aid is far from enough. Only 60 trucks entered Gaza recently, short of the 100 trucks daily target set by the World Food Program. Nearly 500,000 people are on a brink of famine. With daily military pauses announced by Israel, aid deliveries remain crippled. Trump was clear in his message to Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. You have to end it, as pressure mounts globally from London to Berlin to Paris. The world's spotlight is now firmly on getting food, not firepower, into Gaza. From remote hills to busy kirana shops, digital payments are rewriting India's financial story. Over the past 6 years, India has clocked over 65,000 crore digital payment transactions worth a staggering 12 trillion rupees, according to Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary. In a written reply to the Parliament on Monday, he said the growth cuts across metros, small towns, and even rural and remote regions like the Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir. At the heart of this surge, a web of public-private partnerships, RBI, NPCI, fintechs, banks, and state governments, all working together to push India towards a cash-light economy. The Payments Infrastructure Development Fund, PIDF, launched in 2021, has helped deploy 4.77 crore digital touchpoints to bring digital payments closer to small merchants and everyday users. The RBI's Digital Payments Index, a key barometer of this shift, rose to 465.33 by September 2024, up from the 2018 baseline of 100, reflecting how deeply digital payments are now embedded. Schemes like zero MDR for small merchants, UPI incentives, and invoice discounting via TREDS are helping MSMEs thrive in the digital age. But beyond ease, there is empowerment. Digital footprints from UPI and other platforms are becoming alternative credit data, allowing banks to assess borrowers who lack formal documentation. The outcome? More Indians are entering the formal economy and accessing financial tools for the first time. After months of volatility, the US dollar bounced higher on Monday, lifted by fresh signs of a thaw in global trade tensions. The big trigger here is a framework trade deal struck between President Donald Trump and European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen. The agreement set tariffs on EU goods at 15%, half of what Trump had earlier threatened. That, along with last week's deal with Japan and ongoing US-China talks in Stockholm, helped restore a sense of calm to jittery markets. This feels like a return to normalcy, said Eugene Epstein of Money Corp, noting that investors had been fleeing US assets amid uncertainty over Trump's trade regime. The greenback climbed 1.25% against the euro, pushing the euro down to $1.159. It's the biggest daily drop since mid-May. 0.59% against the yen, hitting 148.535. 1% against the Swiss franc. Even the pound slid 0.67% to $1.335 as the dollar firmed up across the board. US stocks were slightly mixed. Dow fell 0.3%, S&P 500 down 0.15%, while the Nasdaq edged up 0.14%. Investors are now looking ahead to central bank meetings in the US and Japan, where both the Fed and the BOJ are expected to hold rates steady. Meanwhile, crypto markets were quiet. Bitcoin dipped to $118,205 and Ethereum slipped below $3,801. The dollar may have found a new footing, but all eyes are now on the Fed's next move and Trump's reaction to it. At 12:11 a.m. today morning, a magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck the Bay of Bengal, close to India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, according to the National Center for Seismology. The quake originated at a depth of 10 kilometers. Thankfully, there have been no reports of damage or casualty. The tremor adds to a recent string of seismic events in the region. Just last week, mild tremors rattled Delhi and the NCR with a 3.2 magnitude quake centered in Faridabad on July 22nd. Well, again, no harm was reported. In response to growing concerns, the government of Delhi, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, alongside the NDMA and the Indian Army, are launching disaster preparedness drills from July 29th to August 1st. The focus here is to improve coordination and response for high-risk events like earthquakes and chemical hazards. These back-to-back tremors are a reminder of the need for constant readiness, even when the Earth seems calm on the surface. This is just the bare minimum, Elon Musk declared. And with that, Tesla inked a $16.5 billion deal with Samsung Electronics, lighting a fire under the South Korean giant's struggling chip business. Musk confirmed that Tesla's next-gen AI6 chip will be made at Samsung's long-delayed fab in Taylor, Texas. The deal, which runs through 2033, marks a major win for Samsung's Foundry unit, often seen as the underdog in a space dominated by TSMC. This fab is not far from my house, and I'll personally walk into the line and accelerate the progress, Musk posted on X, signaling hands on oversight. The market cheered. Samsung shares jumped nearly 7%, hitting their highest since September 2023. Samsung, which already makes Tesla's A14 chips, had been struggling to find clients for the Texas plant, even postponing key equipment deliveries. So this order is not just big, it's vital. The fab had virtually no customers, said NH Investments' Ryu Young-ho. While no dates has been set for AI6 production, industry watchers expect output around 2027-28. But with Tesla's history of delays, the exact timeline remains fuzzy. The deal also comes at a time when Seoul is pushing for deeper US trade ties amid tariff concerns, though any political link to the Tesla-Samsung agreement remains speculative. Still, for Samsung's Foundry division, which lost over $3.6 billion in just 6 months, this could be the much-needed lifeline. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.